sequence already. It's going to be called the intro. Now for the user interface, we didn't want to squeeze the name in on most of the word created, so it maintains this sequence name and number underneath, and hopefully that is giving you an insight into how 16 levels of building blocks isn't exactly chaining those together in melodies created. This is a track. Now another thing to look at while here is the pitch. Don't forget, for every path we have loads of sequences. You will notice that we have the same sequence list that we have already in our sequence view. Now you can use that with sequence 1 selected. If I want to come down an octave, I open our menu and we make sure this is set to 3 or global. I can come in here and I can give that sequence its own tempo. So it's now going to be 50 BPM. We close this down, come down, see sequence 1 is now 80 BPM. If I click on 24 semitones, it's 19 BPM. Now we can play these in real time, like we just showed you that. As I play one sequence, it's going to wait before it moves to the next one. Now I mentioned this earlier when we talked about our pad layers. We have this instrument note loaded up, and currently, because we're in one shot, it's switching over. We currently have it set. We're getting one sequence end before it moves, and we didn't have a big change in tempo. Baseline 90 BPM on one sequence. So let's say we want to make 80 on the other, and you can do that at the time. We can move over. Now all of that is make sure that we are in song mode. You watch what happens when I press play here. It to function. Now when we go back to 90 BPM. Moving down to volume out. Now before we jump out and move into export, we're going to take a look at resamples for the function. But that's how you can create quite nicely. Now we're going to take a look at samples. Now don't forget, when you're playing on the main page, samples at the playback mode is also being used. That's because we consider these things levels. They are used twice, but we consider those separate from your main view. It's now going to be your main sample while it's the 16 inches. What we'll do is one thing that we've found this out is that if you want access to samples or pad, and let's say you're on something like effects, a song mode, output, a sequence, you'll notice you can't get creative in order to get around this. You have quick access. You just press shift, and you'll notice it changes to sample and pad rather than main and sequence, and that happens from any one. Now this has changed when we're in sequence mode because this is now play for as long as it's a finger on the page. But if I was on command change, it's still the same least support that I can sample, move and pad least output, slice and release and pad. So from the main view, they're nice and visible, and if you're on any page, you can shift, and then we can choose something like sample. We'll let go of the roll function. Now we looked at this very briefly in the UI overview, but this is where you do your sample. One will apply a roll resampling, we'll let you sample just from the roll built and microphone, which is what I see here on this input meter. But if you plug in an external audio interface, you can see it actually get down, and this is it for a bass and we address the sound. Underneath we have thresholds, which will come down to. But we quickly move below that, we have the input gain. With the input gain, this is a really good way of controlling that. You can lock your arm devices, but we can use it here, so if I crank this, we'll see that it's set it works to 16 levels because it's a microphone level, we're not using the input gain, and of course we can reduce it, and it works the same pitch or filter as it does when it's targeting an external source. Now that is really, really handy because sometimes you have a turntable or an orchestra. Now just like I've got a set of volume for your input, it isn't quite as loud as you'd like it to be. It will cause you to spanking, but that will for the show. So let's say you want to set up a threshold. You might have an input that's what indents at the beginning. As I've walked that set space and only have a good see. So let's record it. We just set a threshold. In order to record with a certain threshold level, we just set this slider to wherever we think is appropriate. And rather than using the pad recording, we're going to choose to not arm this. We see the pad flash. As soon as I arm this, and our input signal passes that threshold, which is really convenient because if we are in the raise mode, I can then click stop wherever I need it. Now rather than loading directly one of these pads and just we have it set up so that it gives you the option. You'll notice this load pad button has illuminated. That means that a recording is captured and you can now send that to wherever you like. Whatever sample slice location feels. If I wanted to put it on pad 12, I can select pad 12, those notes loading pad 1 and 6, that tells me my recording is there. And we can hear it. So essentially when we're looking at the sampling view, we have two sides. I can move this over, we can quickly sample, I can apply. You notice in our pillar area one thing that it's changed over to now the sequence lock. The reason for this is so we can do quick resampling of our sequences. If I choose sequence 2, I can then choose sequence resample, and just like with our threshold recording, the button to change here applies to something that's happened. Okay, so again, for this first version we kept it relatively limited. We can now effect this station, I just want to relation to different speeds, and we can see low layers tells us that we have our sequence resample, which we have this pad. bit crushing, and we've created an environment for this sample pattern. If I go to the main view, then you will see that looking like this effect. If I use shift, it has put it inside to it, so it has the effect chain, and so for every loop, you can apply 3 of these effects at any given time. You can't apply the same effect. Moving back to the same chain, if I'm on my basic functions chain and I add an effect, later on I'll do a demonstration next one about the effects and sample. You'll notice vice delay is not an option. It doesn't matter whether you're input or resample, we have our replay button. This is essentially like a skip back of S2 or a 4 bus. I mentioned this earlier in the video. We have 4 bus effects. Resample we choose from the listening. This is like recording mainland channel effects. So we can recall. The key difference between if I have something like replay, let's say I want to send first available delay or something. If we go back to my main, if I choose to send this drum pad to bus 1, and I have the delay effect set up there, then this particular pad is going to be sent through that delay effect. And that's the same for all. Now we've got basic understanding of when we get to all, anything that I select here into this chain, again it's just 3 slots, but anything that is applied to all means that it's applied to local across everything. The secondary options in this bar, and don't forget you can access final, shift, then I could apply and press into one of these. You'll notice, and it's got, we still see our waveform that actually underneath in our area 2, we now get a few editing tools. Now this waveform is one to capture a delay, mid, or some other patterns. If I want to just because they're on bus 1, so I can with my start and end cards use the global. And let's say I want to looking at this now, we have the 3 slots, as soon as they're populated, and of course I can do the effect, you get a little initial over here. If I want to say we brought in samples, and for some reason we have something applied, we can actually convert that. So notice I'm clearing here, but I'm also just going to see a lot of difference. Now let's say we've got 3 samples, but you do have the option. You'll notice I can modify the thing we can also do is we can normalize them samples here. That's a really great trick that we have. Why is it you can actually compress in volume just like any other use we still have on that arrow. So if you want to play around with drawing and pitch and everything else parameters, because we've loaded the shift, we have our volume change effects our way. The way that we do that is just filters and methods, and that's going to show you now the layer tab has effects view. We have layer bus and we have chart. This is where you can do all of your